Hello, everyone. I saw this tweet and it made so much sense. Let me read it out. It says, these are the unholy alliances that have wrecked Nigeria: politicians and corrupt judiciary, politicians and some intellectuals, politicians and religious leaders. I even call them rulers. Politicians and influencers, politicians and their gullible enablers. These are and then he said, these are the institutions that have wrecked Nigeria: INEC, NAS, Supreme Court of Nigeria, some media houses. Nigerians need to free themselves from these heartless and wicked people. You know, that tweet is so loaded. It makes so much sense. When you talk about, let me even look at them and pick them one after the other. Politicians and corrupt judiciary. That's what we are today. And it's something that has been going on for since this democracy started in 2000, so let's say for almost 24 years now, right? It's been ongoing. The biggest problem we've had, the corrupt rulers that shouldn't have gotten into office, that got into office, they actually came into the judiciary with one kind of fantastically corrupt judicial decision or the other. Is how a lot of people got into office. From, you see someone who never participated in election just getting into office. You see someone who didn't take part in primaries or whatever. And if you see the whole things, the 2015 election where the Supreme Court said that the card ruler, the card reader is not admissible in the court, is how Wike got into office. And how that whole reform that was done, electoral reform of that time, was scattered. And you see the 2022 electoral reform that has been done has been scattered by also the judgment of the courts. We have all sorts of things that do not make sense. How someone who did not participate in primaries ended up being on the ballot paper. Meanwhile, the person who won the primaries was thrown away. Supreme Court gave a judgment on that. So these unholy alliances, and some of this, what has happened is that politicians, pay their wages. Some of them don't even start paying today. You have to go and check. There have been a lot of reports on, and this is a question: who is paying school fees for some of these people in the judiciary, their children? Who is a lot of money? So some of them are like on the payroll. Some they've been accusation and report of judges being on the payroll of politicians. And of course, with that, you don't expect to see good governance. They will do when it is time to call. Of course, they will pay. We saw what Senator Bulkachua was saying about his wife. His wife was the president of the appeal court. And he will come out to say that the number of times that he had made her to favor his colleagues. These are deep accusations that should have resulted into real judicial review. But of course, this is Nigeria. And everybody moves on. People move on. Of course, they don't bother, and it continues like that. So that's really very unholy alliance that have really kept Nigeria down. The next one is these politicians and some intellectuals. Those ones, they use them like anything. You see people, you'll be surprised. Like, this person should not be hungry. But you see them defending nonsense in the name of, the politicians that support them. And they use them all the time. So you see, one way or the other, you see that they are giving you one appointment, or they are giving you one contract, or they will give you something. But next thing, somebody will just be talking anyhow. And that's why for me, when I even see people who are now saying that, you're doing this because you want appointment, I don't even blame them anymore. There are too many examples for them to actually be justified in thinking that way. You see somebody that used to make sense. The moment they give them an appointment, finish, they don't make sense anymore. They begin to make nonsense. And you're wondering, what is going on? Why can't you say the right thing? It's about saying the right thing. There was a time I did a tweet and I said, may our bills not be more than our integrity. And I was talking about someone who recently got an appointment and all making nonsense. Why is he thinking he's making sense? It's crazy. So you see them, they use them a lot. Then they'll be the ones that will speak fantastic English. You see them, their English, their English went to Harvard, though. With us, they're funny. You know the thing that's expected. We don't have to do this. It's nonsense. They use them to do that. So that's That's another of those unholy this thing. The next one is politicians and religious leaders. Oh, that one. That's what they do a lot. A lot. I've always said it that there's a symbiotic relationship between our politicians, our rulers, political rulers, and the religious rulers. The religious rulers need the political rulers to fail so that you be coming to them for cheap miracle. That's why somebody will come and tell you that, oh, your neighbors and your colleagues and everybody will come and be begging you for food and drinks. Yeah, that's a prayer that some people make in, and then the whole this will be shouting, amen. Nobody is saying, God, wait a minute, why should somebody be impoverished for me to give them? Why can't everybody have? There's abundance in the world. God has given us abundance. And then they will not come. They will use religion. That's why Hisbah do not act when politicians are doing things. When they are doing their wedding, they are doing all sorts of, no, they are nowhere to be found. But it's when poor person is doing, that's why Hisbah is coming. Hisbah will go there and be breaking alcohol, destroying beer, and all of that. Then when it is time for politicians, no, they don't see those ones. I remember when the Kano State governor's daughter did wedding. For me, I don't have any issue with people's private life. Do whatever you want to do. Do you? Because me, if I want to do me, I know they look anybody face. I do me. Whatever is between me and my God is not between me and anybody. And us, if you see the thing, hey, the parties, the whatever. Meanwhile, that was the period that Hisbah were barbing some boys' hair that they have a hairstyle that it's not Islamic according to them. But when they were doing all of the music, the whatever, and then when the Hisbah leader was accused, guess what he said? And that he was not in town, blah, 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 blah. Their own Hisbah, their own Sharia is on poor people. So they will do alliance. So, and then the politicians, how do they gain? They gain by ensuring that the religious rulers help them to keep people calm and people will not protest. That's why they've been telling us that protest is haram. All throughout Buhari, they say protest is haram. It's now they're beginning to say that protest is no longer haram. That's the unholy alliance. I remember one time there was this Malam. He was the one, if you see, melodious Arabic voice, when he was praying and he was saying that Buhari will get 4 after 4. When they were doing that, they are 4 plus 4. Immediately after they had sworn in and everything, he was kidnapped. He spent months. There was one video of his that came out. If you see, he was literally almost crying, please, begging. You know, the person was talking to the video. The person was like trying to pray. See, this is not a matter of prayer. Go and sell down my house in Kano. Go and sell it. Give them money. These people are very serious, so they are killing people. Blah, blah, blah. I said, where is the Buhari? So when we're talking about this insecurity, they say we are infidels. We are unbelievers. We are not Muslims. We are being used by the West. We are being used by the West Jews. We are being used by this. We are being used by that. Sure, now they've kidnapped you. You now know that, oh, they should go and sell house. This is not about just sitting down and praying. That's that unholy alliance that they do. Then the other one, of course, is the one of influencers. Influencer, hustling. You see, you know, there was one time I did a tweet and I said, if you want to stand against government, all they said, and you keep making demands for the right thing, you must be contented. Pray to God for contentment. If you have that thing and you can stand anything, you are not hungry, you are not looking for anybody's money. You have your big mouth to use it. There was one incident that happened. When we went for the appeal court judgment, you know, we're almost all sitting close together. Where we were sitting, it's almost the same place. Labour Party, PDP were there, APC were there, and all of that. And it got to a place, we stayed for 13 hours we were there. And it got to, I'm not going to mention the name, but one of the people in this illegitimate government, high ranking up there. So they were not they were taking some refreshment. So he kept, first of all, I think the one that they were sharing, was it chewing-gum or something? No, water. They passed it to her. I said, thank you. I didn't collect. And then later, they now sending snacks. They were trying to give. They was insisting, I want to say thank you. So he looked at me and said, it's me. I'm giving you this. And I looked back at him and I said, I'm sorry. I won't collect. So that tomorrow you are not doing the wrong thing. And then I will not be able to talk because you gave me drink one time. Everybody just started laughing there. As small as that thing is, for me, I'm very serious about those things. I'm very serious. Even if I'm dying, I won't collect water from you. so that tomorrow that will not be the thing that will make me indebted to you. I will not be able to talk. There is a friend of mine, twice. She used to be a friend anyway, no longer a friend. Twice came to me on issue. She was even angry with me. That the first time was during that recession, during after Buhari came in, and that was when pound was almost 1,000 naira. Pound is now almost 2,000 naira. I think it was about 900 and 9 something. And then we're supposed to pay we're supposed to pay our kids' school fees. We had put, from A, everything. We weren't getting it. Was so she was now like, okay, I should come so that they would take me to go and meet the CBN governor, Emefiele. I say, God forbid. I said, I would rather buy that pound 3,000 naira than me to go and meet Emefiele, so that they can expedite it and get my distance. I said, I'm not going. She was very angry. No, Aisha, why are you telling? I said, no, I'm not going. That's what I do. Another time also, she came when my okay, I think that was that time, was it? Okay, yeah, my daughter had not entered university, but they were doing their A levels. It was during their A levels. And then when my daughter entered university, they're like, okay, they can get scholarship for her. One of these that she was working around. I said no. I said scholarship. I said no. I said let them give it to indigent students. There are students from poor families that are intelligent that need. I said thank God we can pay. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, we have to deprive ourselves of certain things. Yes, we have to pinch. But we've been doing it. And by the grace of God, we do it. And she wasn't angry. It was, for me, recently there was a politician that came to see me, that they wanted to see me. I get a lot of politicians come to see me. They want support or whatever. I just said, here. The guy came. And then next day I saw someone carrying, he bought a carton of wine. I look at it and I said, who is it? I say it's for me. I said, no, I'm sorry, I don't collect. So the politician didn't know, because at that time because normally I meet in my husband's office. I work from home, so except you're very quick, I don't bring people to home. I'll just go to my husband's office and we do a meeting there. And then so he was greeting my husband and so that. So the guy went down with. So it was later, I think, when he got after the meeting they had gone. So that's when he realized. He called me like, so it's just a wine. It's not even an expensive wine. This non-alcoholic wine. I said, I'm sorry. I said, it's my policy. I don't accept anything from anybody. Whatever it is, I don't. And thank God I have husband that will be. He will say, even when I say my husband, I say, go and rest. All these projects you are doing, blah, blah. He say, I don't want a situation whereby you will need to ask anybody for anything ever. I said, that's why I have a big mouth. I know everybody, Papa and Uncle, I will call them. If you do anything, I will call you out. I don't send anybody. Nobody in this Nigeria will come and say that I gave Aisha one kobo. I dare the person, let me come out and say it. One dead or alive, one kobo. I stand out. Sometimes some people are like, why are you not your own? I say no. I always say that's my policy. I don't. And by the grace of God, I will never. That I don't. So all of this influence, you see our influencer, the next thing they pay the people, then they begin to talk about do this thing, send message, do all sorts of things, say all sorts of things. I get a number of people who come to me. And that's why sometimes they will say they do mumu. For example, on my Twitter handle, I have over 2 million followers. I have over 2 million followers on my Twitter handle. My Facebook, I think it's 200 and something. My Instagram, 200 and something. My YouTube is 70 something. I have some 70 subscribers. Sometimes they will come to me like, oh, okay, what's your rate? Which is very good business. It's me that I'm foolish, I'm not doing it. So don't think that people who are doing it are doing the wrong thing. So you use it to do advert for people, whether it's political or whatever messages they want you to promote. They come to me, oh, what's your rate card? I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't do it. Even so, a lot of people have gone, you need to be this. I've thought about it. I'm like, I don't want to situation by anything. Some of them are harmless, maybe product, whatever. Fantastic to do, honestly, great to do. Maybe one day I'll decide I'm going to do it anyways, but definitely not political post. I will never. That one I can tell you by the grace of God, I will never. But then I just like, because I don't want any situation. Even when I go to talk, you understand? There was a time I went to speak at one, and then they were like, they give honorarium. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't collect. I know, but you need. I say, I don't want the money to matter to me. Although a lot of people are saying, because now you have staff you are paying, sometimes you have people you're paying that help you to do this thing. I have people that come to me. Even my sister have said, collect it and use it for all the other things to do, like children's school fees that you're paying for people and all of that and stuff like that and whatever. I've thought about it. I'm like, I don't want the money to matter to me. So a lot of influencers that for them, it doesn't matter. It's how much they are paid, and they'll do that. So there's also that unholy alliance. This video is actually getting longer than I thought, but these are real issues for me that are very, very germane, and for me, they are very the The next one, politicians and their gullible enablers. Some of them, honestly, they really don't know. They don't know any better. Because in this life, for you to even be, there's something they call that paradigm shift, right? Or being able to see. And that's where education comes in. There are people who are literate, but they are not educated. And education encompasses a whole lot of things beyond just the degree you get in university or something like that. Traveling is also education. I remember the first time I traveled out of Nigeria. That was in the year 2000. I went to Dubai because as I started my business, my first business was actually going to Dubai to buy things, and I come to sell in Nigeria. And I traveled out like, that was why I said, our leaders are wicked. So this is how people live in other world, and they keep us in such a way. Remember that we didn't even have GSM and all of that, It was really, so for me, that traveling. So there are people who, for them, they've never traveled, they don't know what good governance is. They don't know. Then there are some people who know, but they deliberately don't want people to enjoy what they are enjoying. So they will continue to support the people that give bad governance to keep. Those are the most wicked set of human beings. And a lot of them, they live outside of Nigeria, where they get good things for themselves. But back home in Nigeria, we live in Nigeria, they want us to die suffering. They don't want us to get anything. And so we have some of these people, that is their own way. Then the other thing, I don't even know, I'm thinking of, this video is so long, I'm thinking maybe whether I need to break it into parts. I don't know, Sha. Then the other thing is, he talked about these institutions, that have wrecked Nigeria. INEC number one. INEC has been crazy. INEC has done all sorts of things. Election, especially when you have someone who is not patriotic Nigeria, they undo and undo election. So right now, that's what we saw with the 2023 election. No need of going to rig election out there. Just rig it in INEC this thing. And that's why you could see election where the same thing was done from the same place at the same time. Two results were going in. The one of House of Rep, the one of Senate, but the presidential wasn't going in. Yeah. And wherever we are, and there are people, Nigerians, who are working in those places, they are enjoying the largest, whatever they are getting. And guess what? Kidnappers don't ask whether you work at INEC and leave you alone. All of us, we are all victims waiting to happen. The next one, National Assembly. That National Assembly. The most useless body you can think about. The legislative arm of government is more powerful than the executive. But the National Assembly has sold their birthright for messy porridge. Pot of porridge. That's what they sold their birthright is. The executive only controls money. But the power belongs to the legislative arm. But our National Assembly have thrown away their birthright. So because of longer throat, hunger, Osami Yungwa, they've lost everything. They are now the ones that are being toyed with, ping-pong people like toys by the executive. And so they've put us in this situation that we are today, where we don't even know our left and our right. And now I even said I was going to do a video with this. I kept forgetting. Now the executive is giving them work to do. They are sending them to be sharing rights to people. They are not thinking of making laws. They are not thinking about holding the executive accountable. Because the legislative and that National Assembly, they are the ones that will confirm any appointment that is made. Most appointments at time, only few appointments are left for them that don't need confirmation. But most appointments, if they don't confirm, you can't get in. But yet, what did they do? Bow, take a bow, and leave. National Assembly, they are the ones that make rules, laws. So every law, they can wake up and decide to change the law. They can wake up and decide to change the constitution. But hey, they are busy looking for where they will get the what do they call the constituency project. The National Assembly, they have oversight function. They can check any parastatal, any whatever. Are you working well? Are you not working well? They can do it. The National Assembly, they are the ones that rectify treaties. Even Nigeria go and sign anything. Nigeria cannot go to war without National Assembly. You saw that time that Tinubu was power drunk and he said he wanted to go into Niger. They said Usai, and that was it. It didn't happen. So this is the power that the National Assembly has. Yet the National Assembly will constantly throw this power away. National Assembly are also supposed to hold their executive accountable. They are supposed to be the activists in government, holding executive at that. If the executive said, they'll say, ah, what did you? The hell, what we have are yes, sir, women. Rubber stamp assembly. Nothing. Anyhow they blow them go, and so they go. Because hunger. Now they worry them. The next thing he talked about, let me look at that, is the Supreme Court. Supreme Court. That one. The judiciary, and it's no longer the last resort of the common man. It's the plating of corrupt politicians. And the politicians are not hiding it. They are showing everybody that you see that judiciary, they control it. That's why you see, what did you see recently? The governors were thanking Tinubu for not meddling, because they know the Supreme Court judges are not angry. I even said I'll do a video on that. I've not yet done it. They are not angry that they are thanking Tinubu that they maintain the people that were there, the governors, they maintain them, because they know the Supreme Court is under the feet of Tinubu. It's under the feet of the executive. And so it's not about justice, it's about did they control? And I remember I did a video where I said there was a report that one investigative person who always put out things. He had said that Tinubu was going into alliances with these governors, because as far as he's preparing for 2027, as in, that time I didn't interfere with your ruling, so this time pay me back, kind of a thing. And so here, that's where we are. And most of the bad governance that we have is directly or indirectly due to what the Supreme Court has done, where the Supreme Court have not done the needful, where the Supreme Court have brought in corrupt people to enter into office. And there have been a lot of allegations and a lot of reports that the Supreme Court is being bought by billions of naira. And so that line. And then the final one, it said media houses. You don't need to be told. Media houses complicit in the thing. And but then also, most of the media houses are owned by politicians or their alliances, so they're able to use that. News will be killed if not for social media. In the words of Chude Judon, he said social media democratize media. If not for social media, that's why I can do this video anywhere in the world. You can watch it. They can't stop me. They can't. That's the thing. People can now, it's not just the government controlling the information. People have access to information beyond what the government wants. Otherwise, there's a blackout on news. Most things that are happening, kidnappings happening, insecurity happening, blackouts. If it doesn't come through social media, you won't hear it. I did relog today. The woman that does my reel was telling me about the insecurity that happened around their places and the number of people. I was telling her, this thing, they did not come to the news. She said, deliberate blackout. They put it, they change narrative, they do all sorts of those things so that people will not know what is going on. But you know what? Like this tweet rightly said, like he said with the tweet. Let me read that last part and what he said. He said, Nigerians need to free themselves from these heartless and wicked people. If we don't free ourselves, we continue not only be slaves, we will hand over the slavery to our descendants. Nothing will change. It's not prayers. People pray and say, God will not do for us what he has given us capacity for us to do for ourselves. God gave us everything to be a great nation. We are the ones that have been holding ourselves down. And we must ensure we stand up and fight for a better Nigeria. Fight for the generation unborn, the way we wish other people had fought for us to have a great nation. Nigeria can be great. You and I are the ones holding Nigeria back. Thank you.